नमस्तेभ्यः। चित्तं तथा ष्टत्वम् इति विषये अभ्यासः जातः पूर्वं। लघु एव गृहकार्यमासीत्, भवद्भिरेव कृतः अभ्यासः। अत्र एकम् उत्तरपत्रमस्ति। Any question here in the homework? No questions? Should we move forward? Next topic.
Okay.
No question on the homework? Anyone?
What about number 2?
Can we review it, sir? Can we review the all the 10?
Yeah. The first one you can start. First one, Pratamodaya. Uttankanam iti prashnah. Ut plus tankanam iti prashnah. Tat katham bhavati?
Uttankanam.
So what are the steps there?
Ta is changed to ta, and ta is changed to ta again.
Ta changing to ta.
Ta. And ta is changed to ta.
Ta changing to ta. With what? With sutram?
Sir, I will not be in position to tell the sutram, sir.
No, sutram.
I know.
Sutram सुलभम् अस्ति. किम् अस्ति सूत्रं? पूर्वं स्तुत्वसन्धेः सूत्रं किम् अस्ति?
Yeah. It should be the when we narrate that.
किम् अस्ति भगिनी?
ष्टुनाष्टुः.
ष्टोः ष्टुनाष्टुः. सुलभम्. The first one was stoh shtunashchuh, right? Shutva sandhi. Next one is shtunashtuh. Right? Shtunashtuh. Simple. Sutram. Okay. So this is a shtutva sandhi. So the sutra here is shtunashtuh. This one, 8441. Okay. Shtunashtuh. Okay, next one. शिला भगिनी.
महोदय.
एतत् किं भवति?
The shas will change onto shat. It will be pishtam.
Pishtam. This was not the question, and this question changed. Just like this. Pishtam. This changing to ta. Pishtam. Like this. Pishtam. Pishtam means what?
Meaning I don't know.
Don't know, Mother.
Pishtam.
Pishtam. No, I don't know.
Anyone else? Pishtam.
Pistamay. Carbohydrate. Carbohydrate. Pistamay.
Pishtam means paste.
Paste.
Oh.
Okay. Etad damaruhu. Next one. Sheila begin. Etad damaruhu.
Etad damaru. Da will change into da with the Sutvam Sandhi.
Not to. Etad damaruhu. So finally the etad damaruhu. Next one.
Same thing. Sutvam Sandhi. Rajan now will change into na. Rajan Talati. Rajan Talati.
Rajan Talati. What is Talati?
Walk.
Huh?
Walk. Oh, Talati is walk. Talati is.
Talati Vyakulah bhavati. Vyakulah bhavati. Gets worried. Mantram. Next one.
Shad Dina. Same Sandhi. Sutam Sandhi. D will change into the Shad Dina.
लक्ष्मीकांत महोदय किं लिखितमस्ति अत्र?
Of fifth? Sandhi Chedanam or this one?
Not Chedanam. This Shad Dinaah. भवान् किं लिखितवान् उत्तरपत्रिकायाम्? उत्तरं किम् अस्ति भवता?
I think it is Adhirecha. Adhirecha?
I am not understanding. What is that? Adhirech? Are you trying to say Rudraechi or whatever? No, in your answer paper you have written, what is it?
Vridhirecha?
Not Rudraechi. How did you write your answer? Your answer is correct in the answer paper. How did you write it? What did you write?
Both are in the A only. Stunatvam Sutra only. Here Purvarna is Da.
Yeah.
Da. Da.
Yeah.
Other Varna is also D. It changes to A.
Changes
to Da.
Okay.
It becomes Shaddina.
No, but your answer paper says something else.
No, that is okay. That is wrong.
Not okay. Huh?
That is wrong. My answer was wrong.
No, only your answer is correct.
If it is Dina, then it is correct.
Do you have your answer paper with you? I mean, you can read it.
I cannot know. Say why I was right, that I do not know.
Okay.
It is
अत्र किं भगित्या आविष्कार
Yes, actually here we have to use the exception, napadanta toranam, because
yes.
the first, so the purva varna is da, so it's from ta varg, and we won't change the in the dina here. So it's going to stay shad dina.
Yeah. अन्यत् उदाहरणं किम् आसीत् न पदान्तात् तोर्णाम् अन्यत् उदाहरणं
षट्सन्तः
षण्णां नास्ति महोदय षण्णाम् इस् अ डिफरेंट थिंग ओके
No, that is different. Yeah.
षट्सन्तः दिस् वास् अनदर एग्जांपल अत्र somebody had asked me, who is not there, Masharda had asked me, written to me, that to explain Napadantat Toranam, in that particular Anam, she didn't understand, so I had to explain to her. So anybody can quickly explain here what is Napadantat Toranam, tasya artha kaha? Meenakshi Bhagini. You are on mute.
Only sutram has to be explained, right? Padantat toranam. Na padantat toranam iti sutram asti. Padantat, that means after the end of a padam. Tavargasya vyanjanam asti chet, then this shtutvam na bhavati. Because toranam is toho anam iti vibhajanam asti. Toho anam.
किं पुनः एकवारं पुनः एकवारं
पदान्तात् इत्युक्ते पदस्य अन्ते अनन्तरं सवर्गस्य व्यञ्जनम् अस्ति चेत् ष्टुत्वं न भवति.
ष्टुत्वं न भवति.
अत्र पदान्तात् पञ्चमी विभक्तौ अस्ति. तोरणाम् इति तोः अनाम् इति विभाजनम् अस्ति. तोः षष्ठी विभक्त्यौ अस्ति.
अनाम् इत्युक्ते किम्?
Anam, when we discussed it, Toranam is Shashti Bahuvachanam. But here it says Anam. So where, as long as it is not Shashti Rupam, that's what I understood.
Who else can explain? Let's say Avishka Bhagini.
Tavarga letter?
Yeah. Which letter? Tavarga. Ta. Murdhanya ta. So
the Tavarga letter should not come in a Shashti Vibhakti Bahuvachana Rupam.
Which one? Murdhanya ta?
Murdhanya takaram.
Astu. So somewhat fine, somewhat correct, but still incomplete explanation. Anybody? Avishka Bhagini?
So for the Anam part, what I have understood is that this exception is applied only when the last letter of the first pad is from the verb, and it is followed by sa or the verb, but it should not be noun. It should not be a noun which is the Shashti Vibhakti.
Shashti Vibhakti Pratyaya.
Yes.
Yeah. So, note that this, yeah, correct, yeah, Dhanyavada. So, note that everyone, so note that this Na Padanta Toranam 8442 coming as an exception, and this is an exception to what? Stunashtuhu. And Stunashtuhu has a stoho in it. Remember that this Stunashtuhu has a stoho in it. So this Na Padanta Toranam still applies to Stoho Stunashtuhu. Though Stunashtuhu Sutra is only Stunashtuhu, but Stoho is Anurukti. So that is coming from the previous sutra, which is Stoho Stunashtuhu. Stuttam. Patra Stoho Asti. So this Stunashtuhu inherits Stoho from Stoho Stunashtuhu. The Stoho is still following here. And then this Napadanta Toranam is related to this sutra. This is so this has a stoho still related here. So Napadanta Toranam, so Padantat Toho, so that is one Padantat Toho, so that is one thing we need to understand. Padantat Toho, so both are Panchami Bhakti. Padantat Toho Anantaram Stuhu Asti Chet. Okay. So Padantat Toho Anantaram Pare. Padantat Toho Pare Stuhu Varanaha Asti Chet. That means what? Purva Varanaha Sandhi Samhita Yatra Asti Tatra Purva Varanaha टवर्गस्य वर्णः भवेत् मूर्धन्य टवर्गस्य वर्णः भवेत् पदान्ते तत्तु पदान्ते भवेत्. This is the condition here. Okay. And अनन्तरं परवर्णः स्तुः सकारः अथवा टवर्गस्य कश्चित् वर्णः भवेत् परवर्णः, because in this Tunashtuhu there are two components, right? One Purvarna, Paravarna. So Purvarna, Paravarna in the Tunashtuhu, which is the Purvarna, Paravarna? Which can be Purvarna, Paravarna? Bhavan Mohoday? Which can be Purvarna and which can be Paravarna?
Tavargan and Tavargan and Tavargan.
And what is the meaning of Stuhu? अस्ति किं तो भगिनी राजश्री भगिनी?
Two varga. Two is two varga, no?
Two. And what else?
Paravarna is Paravarna is two varga. Two varga. And Purvarna is Tavarga. Paravarna also is two varga.
What is Meenakshi Bhagini, what are you saying?
Stuhu is Sakaram and Tavargiya.
Sakara and Tavarga. So don't forget this Sa. There is a Sa here. You are just saying just the Varga. What about Sa? So in the Stunashtuhu Sutram Stutva Sandhi Stutvam Bhavati Purvarnaha Tatha Paravarnaha in Kim Bhavitum Arhati. What could be the Purvarna, what could be the Paravarna?
It can be either sa or tavarg, or it can be sha tavarg. So it can be either of these. As long as they come into contact, then the rule is going to be applied.
Suresh Mahoday Kim?
पूर्ववर्ण श व तवर्ग परवर्ण स सकार व तवर्ग.
So as Bhagini said, it could be any order. Purvarna can be anything, Paravarna can be anything, means Sa Ta can come first or it can come second. Paravarna, it can be second also. Sha tu can be first also, or they can be in the Paravarna also. Okay? Same thing with the Stoshunaschu. The Shuttam also, Sa Ta, Sha Cha. So they can be Paravarna, Purvarna. So their order is not specified in this Sandhi. Unlike other Sandhis, here the order can be anything. Purvarna, Paravarna.
The order can be anything for the main Sandhi, but Padanta Toranam, it has to be Tavarga. Right. Okay, I was talking about the exception.
Yes. Yeah, but in the main Shtutvam, order can be anything.
In the Shradina,
which one?
Shradina, the is a two varna, no?
Yeah. So now the exception, it's in the exception it is saying Padantat Toho. Here it is limiting. It is not, it is specifying the order also here. Whereas in the main one, order could be anything. Sata can come first or Shat tu can come first. But here, Padantat Toho Anam, here the order, it is specifying the order. Padantat Toho. So, Padantat Panchami Bhakti Asti. So, Purvaranaha Kimbhavati Tuvargaha. So, the Sha is not considered here. Only it is talking about the Tavarga. Toho. And that also should be Padante. Padante bhavet tavargasya kaschit varnaha. And that means what? Anantaram paravarnaha will be from the sa tu. Sa tu. Right? Sa and tu. So that is the condition. So this is the tuvargaha purvarnaha. And then stu can be paravarna. Example asi tatra shad dina, shat sant also was there, shad dina, shad dinaha, dakarah tavarge asti, tavarge dakarah, anantaram tat padante api asti, anantaram dinaha iti asti, dakarah dantyavarnaha tavargaha. So here napadanta tornam so comes into picture here, preventing the shtutvam. So this will be remaining shaddinaha, like shatsantaha, shaddinaha. So it will not change to shaddinaha.
So I assumed Padantat iti Panchami asti. So after this Padam, the Tavargiyam should come in the second Padam. Paravarnam Tavargiyam bhavitum arjati iti aham chintitavati.
No, Panchami is like Anantaram iti Pataniyam.
So that was the confusion.
Anantaram Anam is, okay, Anam is a Shashti Bhakti Bhavachana Pratyaya asti. So it should not be Shashti Bhakti Bhavachana Pratyaya. Then this exception applies. So example we saw the Shannam. In the Shannam example, because it is Shashti Bhakti Bhavachanam asti, Nam iti. So Shad example, It is not actually Shad, but let's assume it is Shad. Shad Nam iti sthitaye. किं भवति षड्नाम इति न भवति तत्र षट्त्वं भवति षण्णाम इति okay. So other things are clear here. Uddayanam becomes Uddadayanam samyak. Bruhat tika, Bruhat, and it's coming from Bruhat. Tad dhakaraha.
Nam katham mahore. Da ante da tavargah asti.
Kutra?
Shannam.
Shannam.
Na tavargah asti.
Kutra? Etat Shannam?
Oh, Shadnam. Okay.
अस्तु अग्रे तद्धकारः तद्धकारः सम्यक् नष्टः
नष्टः क्लेशः अस्ति नष् प्लस तः वा नष् प्लस तः.
So for now let's keep it nashtha only, because for now let's keep it nashtha only.
Okay.
This
I
is
find the meanings of nasa. I thought it would be like nahataha, right? Not there.
Not nahata. Nash dhatu nashyati.
Oh, okay.
Nashyati, that is nashtaha. From there nashta is coming. So originally this is nash plus ta. Now that this sha changes to sha for some other reason. So for now let's keep it. So for this example, this is fine. Nashtaha. Okay. Then what else we have? Mahad damaraha. Mahad damaraha. Samyak. Astu.
Mahodaya, what is the meaning of Mahad damara?
Damara ityukta kim? So some of you have already looked up the meanings in the dictionaries. What is damaraha?
Is it Damaru?
Not Damaru. Some of you have written the meaning also. Somebody, can you?
Surprising.
Can you look?
Surprising.
Sorry, I can't hear it. Anybody did you hear? Anyone did you hear? Begin what Begin is saying?
She said
Surprising.
Surprising. Surprising or hectic activity in that sense. You can simply just look up online. Dictionaries are there. So, anyah vishaya atra. So, when we are doing these exercises, we should focus on what we have studied so far. Okay? So, in that context, we would try to show the steps. So, do not think of like Visarga Sandhi. In the previous examples, there are Visarga possible, like for example, so api, Ramo api, those things. But for our purpose, those won't be useful. So we should stick to our steps in the example, in the context. So similarly here also, there are possibilities here of some of you written like Jastvam. There are possibilities, but at this stage here, it is not necessary. For example, here the tad dhakaraha asti. So what is tad dhakaraha? Here Couple of you have written like it is first it is tat, then it becomes justvam, then it is tad, then it is taddhakara, then it is shtutvam. That is not necessary, and that may not be true also, because what is taddhakara here? Taddhakara, dhakara means, let's say I made up this word. Dhakara is sound of dha, right? Like yukaraha, karaha, pakaraha, like dhakara, sound of dha. So here what happens here? Dhakara is sound of dha, that's fine, but tad dhakara means that sound of dhakara, correct? Tat means that, right? Dhakara, that sound. So it appears that we want to use tat dhakaraha, but this is, if you are referring this tat as a visheshanam to dhakara, that is not correct, because dhakara is a pullinga word, so tat is a napunsakalinga word. So this becomes saha dhakaraha. So when we are using tat here, that means I am indicating this is a samasta padam with this tad dhakara, samasaha. And it becomes samasaha, we want to bring in the pratipadikam. And the pratipadikam of tat is not tat, it is tad. So the word starts with a tad here, not tat. So there is no need for that other things like jastam, not necessary, because the pratipadikam itself is tad here. Tad dhakara. Yeah, jastam tu bhavati punah, tad becomes tad only, then it becomes dhakara, but not from tat to tad. Same thing with other examples also. Like here mahad damara, there is no need of mahat, because we are taking this as a samasta padam. Otherwise this will become mahan damara, right? If it is separate, pullingam asti. Astu. How is this the exercises in the Telegram group, are they helping?
Yes, Mahodaya, the quiz is helping a lot.
Yeah, don't try. Just try it. Don't even if you don't know the right answer, or if you just guess, and just at least you will know why it is right, because you can see the sutra I am writing there. If you have questions on that, you can ask the question there in the group itself. Like Gudakesha, I had mistyped the one word, so somebody asked the questions. Okay. Agrimam asti justvam iti. So we finished shtutvam, shutvam. So idanim smarane bhavatu, kim bhavatu. Alsandhi vidhayaka sutrani prayena tripadyam santi. In the last 3 padas of Ashtadhyayi. So we started with this Chutvam, which is 8-4-40, and Tripadyam asti iti karanat sutranam tatra anvayaha anukramena bhavati. It has to be going one way. It is a one-way traffic. So after applying one sutra, it does not come back. There are a couple of exceptions, but generally, okay, it goes in one way. So, Sutra Sankhya, note that. So we are in Chutva, we studied 8440, Stutvam 8441. And in Napadanta Torna, obviously it's an exception here, 8442. So 8440, 41, 42. Now, Anantaram, so we are going to study more sutras also about Halsandhi sutras. But before that, which are like following this, 8-4 and onward, there are more sutras. But before that, let's finish this one, just one, because this is important. Actually, this we should have done before. Still, I just took the path of Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi and started with Shuttam and Stuttam. But these are, I think, little bit difficult to understand and get on. But going forward, I think they are much simpler. So everybody should be clear about this. Chuttam, Sandhi, Chuttam, Katham Bhavati, Shtunashtami, Sutram, what is tu? Generally, you got the idea, I think. Tu means what, Sa means what, Tu means what, Sha means what, Tu means what, how these sutras are organized, how they are interpreted. Shtu, Shtunastu, Shashti Bhakti, Katham Bhavati, Saptami, Katra Bhavati. So those we studied in the Ach Sandhi also, in the Swara Sandhi also, Purvam, Ruddhirecha, etc. So keep that in mind. Again, if you forget, no problem. But I'm just hoping that at least you got an overview of how these sutras work, how these sutras are applied. So keeping that in mind, we can move forward now. Justvam iti 8 to 39. Atra pasyantu 8 to 39 sutra sankhya asti tattu puram asti. 8440 stoshchuna chuhu anantanushtanastu tasmat puram bhavati justvam. It means what? Justvam, this rule is applied, or this process happens first. Okay? Whenever we are going through this Tripadi. So because this comes near the beginning, 8 to 39, it starts with 8 to 1 Tripadi. So this is 8 to 39. So this is almost in the beginning. So this is one of the early process that happens. Kim vadati sutram jhalam jashonte. Jhalam jashonte sutra. So we can just add. We can add this here. It is not necessary, but just. Jhalam jashonte. Asyartha kaha padasya ante jhalam jashaha bhavati. Jhalam jashaha bhavati. Adesha bhavati. So asmin sutre Jash jhal iti ekah pratyahara asti, jash iti ekah pratyahara asti. So what are these pratyaharas? Let's see. Jhal ityukte asmin pratyahare ke varnaha santi, jash pratyahare varnaha ke santi iti pashyamah. Note that the jhal is a very important, very frequently used pratyahara in the Ashtadhyayi. So let's go back. So jhal, remember, jhal and jash. Where is that? Jhal, jash. So, Jaya Modaya, jhal. Where is jhal?
Jha, bha.
Jha,
Jha, bha.
न घ ढ ध श
Shana.
sorry, jha bha gha dha dha ja ba ga da da kha pha cha tha tha cha ta ta ka pa sha sha sa ha.
So outside this, so basically it is starting from here and ending here. Right? All this starting from jha, and then ending this ha. All these vyanjanas which are here, there are no atra swaraha na santi, kevalam vyanjanani. Atra अस्मात् प्रत्याहारात् बहिः कानि व्यञ्जनानि सन्ति?
So all the swaras there after the
No, swaran vihaya vyanjanani. Which are the vyanjanas outside this? Sheila Bhagini, which are the vyanjanas outside this?
outside this is all the swaras, and then
Swaran vihaya. So 1 second. I just want to make sure how far you are understanding my Sanskritam. When I say swaran vihaya, what does that mean?
Swaran vihaya is after the ach. After the ach is from
No. Hold on. That's why I want to. I think people are having difficulty understanding Sanskritam here. Swaran vihaya means what? Swara.
Without swara. Without swara.
Without swara. Swaran vihaya kani vyanjanani santi?
Hayavarat, lan, yamagananam.
Samyak. So atra jhal pratyahare etani vyanjanani santi. Asmat pratyaharat bahihi means outside this pratyahara. Which are the vyanjanas?
Starting from a to ending in makara.
Forget so I said we are talking only of vyanjanam. Yes, they are outside, agreed, but we are talking about hal sandhi. So let's focus on the hal varna. Hal means it is starting from ha, and la means all the vyanjanani. Outside the jhal is started from jha and goes all the way till the end of the Maheshwara Sutrani. So outside this, which are the vyanjanas? You said already, hayavarat, lan, and yamagananam.
Dasha vyanjanan. Hayavara, la, yamada.
Yamagananam. Okay, Meenakshi, what are you saying?
Vargiya Panchamakshirani and this Hayavara La are Antasthas.
Hayavara La are, what are they? Sorry, what did you say? What are they?
Antastha.
Antastha. And atra kevalam yavarala iti antastha santi, hakara nasti. Now, hakara is already here, right? Again.
Yeah. Shall there hakara. That is Ushmana. Right.
So ha is again coming here. Vivaram asti, hakara. So in the jhal, ha is included. And because ha is coming twice, ha is included here. And yavara is excluded. Yavarala, antastha, that is correct. Yavarala. There is no yavarala, jhal madhya yavarala nasti. Antastha varanaha, antasthaha. Yavarala smin nasti. And yamagananama is Vargiya Panchama. Vargiya Panchama varnaah, what are they called? Sthanam kim testesham? Uchcharana sthanam.
Nasika, so Anna.
Anunasika. So anunasikaah, anunasika varnaah, anantaram antastha. So just exclude that. Everything else. Everything, all the other Vyanjanani. Excluding this antastha, yavarala, and anunasika panchama, vargasya, vargiya panchama varna. Okay? That should be simple, right? To remember. Jhal means what? Jhal means all the Vyanjanas except yavarala and yamagananama. Simple. So we don't need to actually remember this order. Jha, bha, bha, da, dasya. If you remember, it's great. But what is excluded, it is easier to remember. Just remember that this yavarala, they are called antastha. And these are the anunasika varna. We already know that. What are the other types of varnas here? Shasha, sa. What are these? These are called Ushmana. Ushmana or Ushmana. Ushman iti padam prijya. Not Ushmana. Shashasa. These are Ushmana. So, and I also know the Mahaprana, Alpaprana Varna. Right? You already know Mahaprana, Kha, Fa, Cha, Ta, Tha. These are all Mahaprana, Cha, Bha, Gha, Dha, Dha, Mahaprana. And Cha, Ta, Tha is Alpaprana, Ja, Bha, Gha, Dha, Dha, Cha, Ta, Tha, Ka, Pa, these are Alpaprana. So these are general categories we can remember. So when studying, when we encounter these things, so antasthas are excluded, Ushmana is included or excluded. So one should understand which are these. Now, Jhal iti.
So basically, Jhal is the Pratama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturtha Vargiyaha and Ushmanaha.
Correct. Prathama, yeah, because we are excluding this Panchama, Vargiya fifth, the last column of Varga, and Antastha. So all other first, second, third, fourth, and Ushmana, Shashasa, and there is a Ha also. It is also Ushmana, Prakara also Ushmana. So Ushmana and all the 1, 2, 3, 4 of Vargiya Vyanjanani. So that is correct. That's also you can remember like that. Jhal means. Now, the second in the Jhalam Jashonte, the second other Pratyahara asti Jash. One was Jhal, another was Jash. Kutta Jash asti idanim? Jabagada da atra kevalam ekam sutram maheshwara sutram ekameva. Japagada dash. What is Japagada dash? Jash. If you look at the Vargiya Vyanjanani table, where does this Japagada da fall?
The third column, Tritiya Varga.
Here is Japagada da, Ja is here, Ja, Ba, Ga, Da, Da. Okay? So that is the third column. What is the third column? Uchcharana sthanam. Different, right? Uchcharana sthanam is different. But basically, what are these? Prayatnaha.
Alpa prana.
These are mridu.
So,
Alpa prana.
Yes,
and
Talavya.
Talave is here. This is Talave, this is Murdha, this is Dantya, Oshtha. So, Uchcharana sthanam bhinna bhinnam asti. Parantu prayatnaha atra किमस्ति अल्पप्राणः yes and nada. Alpaprana nada asti. Because these two are nada, but this is Mahaprana, this is Alpaprana. Alpaprana nada. Anyway, so this is the third column. That is easy to remember. Third column of the Vargiya Vyanjana. So, So what this basically Jhalam Jashonte, what does that say? Jastam bhavati, katham bhavati, Jhalam Jashonte, 8 to 39. Padasya ante, so this Padasya ante is coming from another sutra, because Padasya ante tu nasti atra. Padasya ante is coming from a different sutra here. Anuvritti asti. Padasya ante Jhalam Jashaha किं भवति आदेशः भवति पदस्य अन्ते झल् वर्णस्य स्थाने जश् वर्णस्य वर्णः आदेशः भवति इति अर्थः पदस्य अन्ते उदाहरणं पश्यन्तु अत्र इफ् यु गो बैक टू दिस पुस्तकं जष्टमन्ति झलां जशः अन्ते पदस्य इति अन्ते पदस्य इति अनुवृत्तिः. So at the end of pada, jhal is replaced by jash. So udaharanam. Okay. These are it. So let's go back to our simple udaharanam. You take any example like. So that example was there tatra asit maruttiti. पदस्य अन्ते हल् वर्णः कश्चित् हल् वर्णः यु टेक् एनी हल् वर्ण पदस्य अन्ते अस्ति चेत् पदमस्ति अत्र मरुत् पदस्य अन्ते इज इट वन ऑफ द झल् वर्ण इज झल् वर्ण तकारः
Yeah, since it is not the Panchamaksharam and it is not the
Antastha,
it is Pratama Vargiya, so it is belonging to Jal.
It belongs to Jal, correct. Jal means, remember, it is not Anunasika nasti, Anunasika varna nasti, Yamagananam nasti, Anantaram Antastha, Yaralava nasti. So it is, and it is at the end of the pada. So tada, kim bhavati, tasya sthane, jash varnasya, ekah varnah adesha bhavati. Jash means Jabagadada. 4 words, 4 letters are there. 4 or 5. Jabagada. The. Which one comes here? Punaha. Sthanyantaratamaha. So the closest one. Closest one in terms of sthanam and ucharanam and prayatna. That becomes as the adesha here. So kasya adesha atra takarasya sthane. Out of this jabagada, one of them will come here. The closest is, we'll start from the abhyantara prayatna, ucharana sthanam, first ucharana sthanam. Which one is closest here? Dakaraha, dantya. So dakarasya adesha bhavati. So closest is dakara here. Ucharanam. So this becomes marud.
Mahoday, Paravarna can be anything, or is there a rule for Paravarna?
There is no rule for Paravarna here. So this is Padasyante. There could be Paravarna, there could be nothing also. This is Padasyante. This is just hanging, could be. It could be end of the sentence, or it could be middle of the sentence. So Paravarna can be anything. Okay? Marud. So that is what this sutra says. Now after that what happens, that is a different story. But as far as this sutra is concerned, it is going to do its work. Padasya ante asti chet, jhal varna asti chet, it is going to act. That is why it is kept in the beginning, 8 to 39, almost beginning, the Tripadi. So you take any word, that padasya ante asti chet jhal varna, उत्तरवर्णः कोऽपि भवतु अथवा विरामोऽपि भवतु किमपि भवतु tasya jash adesha bhavati. Marut becomes marud.
So if we have etat or tat, that means they will always change to tad, etat.
Yes. Etat asti chet. Etad. Actually, etad. Now, actually the pratipadikam, you take another example. Yushmad shabda or asmad yushmad. Yushmad. Ante dakarah jal pratyahar asti va nasti. Asti. So what does it change to? Dakara eva.
Dakara.
So though it looks no change, but as per the Vyakarana process steps, we have to understand that this sutra does its work. Whether it changes to the same letter or not, it does its work. This could be any jhal varna. It could be ta, or it could be anything. The. So they change to the, or let's say vak. Kakar. Kakara asti.
Vag.
Kakarasya
Gakarah.
uchcharana sthana samyam. So we have to kavargasya third letter. So in the changes to the, because the is the third letter in the tavarga. And here we have to look at the uchcharana sthanam, adav. So we start with uchcharana sthanam is samyam nasti chet, then we have to go to the prayatna. But we do have the uchcharana sthana samyam after. So kakara asti kavarge tritiya varnah gakarah, jash pratyarasya varnah gakarah. So this changes to vag. Vag. Okay. So this is simple, just one. So kakarasya varna asti chet. Rule is that kakarasya varna asti chet. Just kakarasya varna asti chet.
Gakara.
It changes to gakara. And chakarasya varna asti chet. Jakara. Anantaram
Takarasya.
takarasya varna asti chet.
Dakara.
I'll just copy from here. It is difficult to type. Takara. Takarasya asti chet. Dakarah. Yeah, difficult to type. Dakarah. अनन्तरं तकारस्य अस्ति चेत् दकारः अनन्तरं पवर्गीयवर्णः अस्ति चेत् बकारः So तत्र in the jhal pratyahare antastha api santi yavarala, but either they don't appear at the end of a word, or there is some other karyas happen even before this. So even after this also. So we don't find those examples. So now so we'll look at some examples here. What are the examples?
Mahoday, if it is Ushmanam, what will be the Ushmanam?
No, Ushmana also, there are other Ushmana also, they closest one is Ushma only. We will see examples.
But as per the sutra, it is Jabagadada, so it is Yash only. So in that, Ushma is not there.
Yeah, correct. So there are other karas happening here. We'll see some examples. Now, other examples for we saw vag, and chakarasya kachid udaharanamasti kim chakarasya.
Kim Madhaya?
Shat.
Vag we saw. Vag.
Shat.
Vag. Huh?
Shat.
Kimasti?
Shat.
Shat. Shat.
Shat.
Chakarasya api asit takarasya. What are anything? It is mahat brat. Actually, Marut is better because this Mahad itself is the Pratipadikam asti. Marut is Pratipadikam. So, because if you start with Mahat, there is a different thing happening there. So, better example is Marut and Marud. Similarly, for example, this one up.
When it takes Supratyaya, becomes Subhanta.
Sub. Ab. Abjam means Kamalam, we know that. Abjam. And Subanta. Ach, Ajanta. Like Ach is there. Ach, you can take this example. This comes Aj. Ach Pratyahara. So similarly, Tibanta. Tip is another pratyaya. Tibanta. Krudanta is also Krudanta. Krudanta. Now, Samedh. Samedh is that Samidha, those sticks for the Yaga, Yajna, Homa, Havana to be used. Samedh. So this changes to the Samedh, this one. Samedh.
So this Sandhi actually makes me understand why we have to search for words, Pratipadikam, differently. When sometimes we don't get it when we search with the unchanged, with the changed form. The Samidh, if we search, we may not get it. We get it only when we search Samidh.
When you get Samidh, you don't get this. Udaharanam Pashyantu atra Samidh So where we keep, not we, in the sense where people used to keep this samidha, is also a samidha, samidh, used to keep in some tray or something. So that is adhanam. Adhanam means the place where something is kept. So when we do this samidh, the moola padam, plus adhanam, yatha nidhanika is adhanam. So what this becomes? So this samidh changes to, just we saw, samidh. This samasta padam, thinking that is a samasa, samasta padam. Samidh, this samidh changes to samidh adhanam. Idanim kim bhavati?
Samidadhanam.
Samidadhanam. Samidh is the moola padam. Tatanantram Jastvam bhavati samidhadhanam. Samidadhanam. Anyadudhanam. Anushtup. What is anushtup?
Chanda.
One kind of chanda.
Chanda. Yeah.
Anushtup iti asti padam. Anushtup eva.
This is about anushtanam. Anushtanam.
Anusthana? Anushtup iti chandaha. It's a meter. Like anushtup. Anushtup becomes what? Anushtup bha becomes bhakarasya. Bakaraha. So what does it become now? Anuštubeva. Anuštubeva. Anya bhava santi atra jastam is very common, like Jagat Ishaha.
Oh, Jagadisha.
Jagat iti padam asti. So takarasya takare takaradeshaha. Jagat Ishaha. Jagadishaha. Kimasti? Vidyut. Gacchati. आदेशः कः?
विद्युत् गच्छति.
विद्युत् गच्छति. विद्युत् गच्छति. Now, let's keep that thought for a second, like Suresh Madhav, that shared joiner. We'll see that, okay? Because few other things we need to check first. So this is Jastam is understood, no issue in this, easy, right? Padante means that ante, after the anta, it could be anything. We saw some examples now. Now the question is, we saw some examples, whatever the last example we saw, Vidyut Gacchati. अत्र तकार झल्वर्णः, so झल्वर्णस्य स्थाने जश् आदेशः जस्त्वं भवति, तदा विद्युत् गच्छति भवति. Now, so the final form is vidyud gacchati. We saw that. We can write like this. or you can keep like this and samhita asti vidyut gachati. Now this, when you say jhalam jashonte padasya ante asti iti karanat, paravaranaha, whether it is there or not doesn't matter. So there is samhita bhavatu va na bhavatu. So there is no part of samhita here, right? Because jastam tu karyam karoti padasya ante vidyud. So after that you take a break or no break, so that jastam is going to happen. Okay.
What is sutra for samida remaining samida as? Samida remaining as samida. What is this?
Samid. Samid means what?
It doesn't change.
Huh?
It doesn't change. Samida.
Samid did change, right? Are you asking the meaning or the what happened with Samid?
Why it is not changing?
It changed. It did change, right? Samid. Samid was there, the dha changed to the. After that there is adhanam was there. So it becomes samidadhanam. The next adhanam was the next word. Different word. Adhanam means support.
Yes.
So this dha changed to the and it becomes samidadhanam. Okay.
Understood.
Now vidyut let's take the other one also, like Bruhat Tika. Is a good one. Are you mixing with the Shtutvam?
Brihadika. Brihadika.
Third changing to what?
Dakara.
The correct? Because jastam. Jastam, remember jastam is coming first, always.
Oh, okay.
Jastam coming first before Chuttam or Stuttam, because Stuttam is later 8440. Right? 8440, 8441. So this is 82, much earlier. So Jastam Bhavate Sarvada. So Bruhat becomes Bruhad. So when we are interpreting that, suppose someone gives us Sandhi like this, Bruhat Tika, so this is actually starting with Bruhad. That means the first step is Bruhad. Bruhad Tika. Now the question comes, now whether the Stuttam, Shuttam should happen or not. That's the next question, right? Shuttam, Stuttam. So Bhavativana Bhavatiatra. Stutvam.
Brihatika.
Katham bhavati Stutvam?
Dakarah anantaram ṭakarah agacchati. Stutvam. Dakarah ṭakarah.
Stunastu stoho.
Stoho.
Stunastu asti. So Bruhat Tika bhavati. So first there is a Jastam here. Jastam bhavati. Let's take another example. So Jagat Patihi.
Jagatpati.
So previously we saw the other one Jagat. What is the which one we saw just now? Jagatishaha. So Jagadguru. Jagadguru, good. Uttama udaharanam. Jagadguru atra kim bhavati takarasya adeshaha dakaraha. So Jagadguru. So now you know, because asmakam prayoge asti Prachuryena Jagadguru Jagadguru and Janima. But what about Jagatpatihi? What is the word we generally use? We use Jagadpatihi or Jagatpatihi?
Jagatpati.
It should be Jagatpati. Cow.
Or do we use Jagadpati?
Jagatpati.
Jagatpati.
The first one, Jagatpati, Takaram.
So we use this. But as per the Jalam Jashonte, Atra Karyam tu karote eva. Because Jalam Jashonte 8 to 39, it hits this word here, this example, it always hits. So tada kim bhavati Jagadpatihi iti next sopanam, next step, Jagadpatihi. Now it is standing like this. When then Jalam Jashonte, it hits here, Jagadpatihi, it changes, okay, to Jagad. But we know that the correct word is not Jagatpatihi. Correct word we use is Jagatpatihi. How did it become Jagatpatihi? Now another sutram comes into picture to modify this form. That is what we need to study, that also, which is important before we move on to other sutras. So this sutra,
This is an exception.
Not exception. It is just in the order of this Tripadi. Just because we have to apply in that order, right? These sutras. So Jalam Jashonte coming in as 8 to 39. So this is going to act first. So this is Jagadpati. But actually it is like Ashtadhyayi is like a factory. So the words are going to go through the manufacturing process there. Right? So it has to complete the entire what is a conveyor belt, you can think that, or the assembly line. So this is when it enters Jagat plus Pati, you put this in the assembly line. First this sutra comes into picture and it does its work on it. Yeah? This is the one which is in the beginning of the assembly line. I think that is a worker. Yeah? There is a person standing there doing its work. And it does its work there, Jagatpati. Now the assembly line continues. Okay? What are the other next sutras? So there comes the Shuttam Bhavati, like 8, 4, 42, 41, 40, 41. There are all those sutras are there. So any of those sutras are applicable here, it has to be applied there. So either Shuttam is going to apply here, 8, 4, 40. Yes, if it is applicable, condition if it is going to satisfy, it is going to apply here. So Shuttam Bhavati Kimatra. What is the condition for Shtutvam or Shtutvam? Stoh Shanashtuhu, Stoh Shtunashtuhu. Are they applicable here?
No, not applicable.
No.
Not applicable.
No,
No.
not applicable.
No, not applicable. Why not applicable?
Because Ba is there.
Huh?
Because Sakara does not belong to
Takara
either.
Paravarna
Which
is
one is
not
Pakar? Pakar. Da is there. That is a Sakara, Takara, two argasti. But the Pakara is not the other part. Right? It is not a stu also, it was stu also. So those sutra, those workers are going to say, I'm not going to look at this. Okay, move forward. If there is anything. So it goes till the end of the Ashtadhyayi. All the sutras it has to pass through. So now there is after Shtutva Shtutva another sutra. Let's see the what sutra gets applied here. So that is this sutra. Yeah, properly written here. Kharicha. Note the number here. What is the number for Jastvam? 8 to 39, which was much earlier, 8 to 39. Tadanantaram Shuttam 8 for 40. It said, this is not related to me, move forward. Shtuttam comes into picture, Agachati, 8 for 41. It looks at it, oh, so it is not satisfying my condition, move forward. and then what comes? Char tvam. This is 8455. Note that. 8441 was 2, then 8455, much later. In between there are other sutras which we are not going to go through sutras now. But now here it gets stuck here. Kharicha. So this Kharicha sutra, it looks at it. Yes, I'm going to work on this. Why? Yeah. It is satisfying my condition. So what does it say? Kharicha. There is a Sampurna Sutram asti Jhalam Khari Char Samvitayam. So again there is a Jhalam as Anuvritti here. Anuvritti means this is coming from a previous sutra. This Jhalam is not coming from Jhalam Yashonte. This is coming from a different in between sutra, but the pratyahara is same. Okay? Jhalam is a pratyahara. Khari and Char. There are two more pratyaharas here. Jhal pratyahara tatvishe vayam janimah. What is Jhal pratyahara? Tasmin kevarna santi.
Panchama vargiyam vihaya. Sarve halam
Vyanjana. Jhabagat.
Uttamam. So Panchama Anunasika Varnaha Anantaram Antastha Tan Vihaya Antasthaha Vihaya. Antastha, remember it is a Strilinga Padamasti. Antasthaha, not Antasthan. Antasthaha Atva Antastha Varnan Vihaya Kimbhavati Jhal Varnaha. So Jhalam. So Jhalam Tasya Sthane Tasya Anantaram Khar. Khar means what? Khar pratyahara asti atra anantaram char pratyahara asti. So we look at the khar and char. Jhalam sthane kim bhavati adesha bhavati. Jhalam sthane adesha. So that is shashtiya bhakti. Now khari is a saptami bhakti, means khar varna should be paravarna, and char prathama bhakti, char varna is going to be adesha varna in the place of jhal varna. Okay. So jhal varnasya sthane jhal varnasya sthane char varnasya adesha bhavati. Khar varna pare asti chet. Kashit khar varna. Now what is khar and char? Jhal we already know. Khar and char, let's see. What is jhal, khar and char? Khar kutra asti?
Kapa chata ta chata ta kapa shasa.
Right, khar.
Shasa.
So it is khar. So what do you understand by this khar? If you kapa chata tha chata ta kapa shasha, what does this mean? If you look at the Vargiya Vyanjana, obviously shashasa, these are the Ushmana.
Ha vihaya ushmanah kila.
Ha vihaya Ushmana. Anantaram
first two columns. Prathama vargiya, dvitiya vargiya.
Prathama Vargiya Vyanjaneshu Prathama Stambha Tatha Dvitiya Stambha. Right? Ka is there, ka, kha, and cha, 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 ta, tha, ta, tha, and pa, pha. So first two columns of the Vargiya Vyanjanas and Shashasa. These are Khar Varnaha iti prasiddha. Khar Varna. Khar Varna means these are also called Karkasha Vyanjanani. Remember? Some of you know already, right? Karkasha Vyanjana. Mrudu Vyanjana, Karkasha Vyanjana, these are two categories. Mrudu Vyanjana is soft vowels, and Karkasha Vyanjanani is hard vowels. Katyanyam kutra ucharana samaye, because you know this ka, pa, and these are the Mrudu Vyanjanani, the 4th, 5th and 6th, because they are nada, because nada is involved in that, the prayatna. But these are there is no nada in this, in these Karkasha Vyanjanani, Khar Vyanjanani. So khari pare. So one of these Vyanjana should be the Paravarna in that Kharicha Sutra. In that situation, Char Varnasya Kaschid Varnaha Adesha Bhavati. What is Char now? Chatata Kapa Shashasa. So what are these? If you look at the Vargiya Vyanjana table.
First line and first column and
Prathama Vargiya Vyanjana.
Vihaya Ushmanaha.
So first Chatata Kapa, these are the first column simply. But whereas a Khar had first and second both. And the Shasasa, obviously these are our Vargiya Vyanjanam. Vyanjaneshu Ushmana. It is. So if you go back to that Kharicha, what it says, Khar Varnaha, Khar Vyanjanam Paravarnaha asti chet, means first and second or Shashasa. Then what happens? Char Varnaha Adesha Bhavati. Char means first letter, right? First stamba of that class. Okay? Of that class. So if you take this Jagat Patihi, is started like that. So Jastva did its work. So it became Jagadpatihi. Abhavat. Jagatpatihi. Now Kharicha karyam karoti atra. What? Because why? Paravarnaha. No, Paravarnaha asti atra. Paravarnaha kaha asti?
Pakaraha asti, and it belongs to the Khar Pratyaharam.
Pakaraha asti. So this Pakaraha kasmin Khar Pratyahare asti. Khar Pratyahare. Because it is one of those first or second columns. Or it could be Shashasa. Now, let's look at this, focus on this Vargiya Vyanjana now. So, yes, Pakara is one of the Khar. Yeah, it is the first column also, but it is one of this Pratyahara, correct? So, Pakaraha, Kaschit, Pakaraha, Yaha, Khar Pratyahare asti, Sahavarnaha, Uttara, Paravarnaha asti atra. So, Idanim, Jhal asti, so here is a Jhal here, this is Jhal. Right? Idanim Jhal Varnasya sthane Char Varna Adesha Bhavati. Kaha Char Varnaha? Char Varna is first column, which is the closest to this Dakara. What it is replacing? It is replacing Dakar. Dakarasya Adesha Bhavati. Dakarasya sthane Adesha Bhavati. So we have to look at the closest Varna to Dakara in this first column.
Dakara.
Dakara Ucharana Sthanam asti Dantyaha. So atra Takaraha Dantyaha in the first column. So Punaha Kim Bhavati atra Takara. So Jagad. So again it comes back to Jagatpatihi. Is understood? So first start with Jagatpatihi. Then Jastvam Jagadpatihi. Then Kharicha Jagatpatihi. Okay. So another example.
Satpal. Satpal.
Sat.
Pal.
Satpana. Okay. Satpana. And also, like if you take Marut also, Marut Tishtati.
Marut Chalati.
Marut.
Marut Chalati.
Marut Chalati. Then yes. But before that, what has happened? Like Shuttam has happened, right? So there the Shutva comes into picture.
Shutva.
Now Marut Patati. Now if it is Marut Gachati or Marut Vati, if it is like this, then what happens here? Jastam Bhutva Dakaraha, Marud, and there is Va. Va, is it Kharvarnaha? Is it Khar?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Vakara asti, Khar asti kim?
Chatatava.
Khar asti kim? Vakara.
Vakar Chatatava asti kila?
Va.
No, nasti. It comes in Yavala, Kshamyatam.
So Hayavara, that is an Antastha. So, okay. That is not Nasti. So, what happens here? Where is this?
So it stays as Jastam?
Jastameva tishtati atra. So, Kharicha karyam na karoti. So, karyam na karoti. So, what happens is Marudvati. Marudvati is still there. But if it is Marut Patati or Tishtati, let's say Marut Tishtati. So here what happens? Marud Bhavati. So Jastam Bhavati Adav. Then it changes back to Ta with the Kharicha. Because there is a Khar Varna afterwards. Here Samhita is important, right? Samhita is there because the Samhita is Anvartanamasti atra. Samhita means, so if you say Marut, okay, then Samhita is important. Tishtati, after some time, if you, after 2 seconds, 3 seconds, if you say Tishtati, then the Kharicha will not work. Then the Marud, it will become Marud Tishtati. Because Jastam is going to work, Marud and Tishtati. But if there is Samhita, closeness is there, then the changes back to Ta with Kharicha, right? Because there is a Kharvana, Ta is a Kharvana, and Dakarasya Char Varnaha Bhavati Takaraha, so it becomes Marut Tishtati, like Jagatpati, Marut Tishtati, right? So this Kharicha.
So does this mean that in the Jalam Jashonti, Anuvriti does not have Samhitayam?
No. Padasyante.
So the Anuvriti also will not have Samhitayam.
Anuvriti won't be there.
Okay.
Okay, now Kharicha, so this process, so like we saw that where there is a Shutta Sandhi asti, so that process is called Shuttvam, and where is the Jasta Sandhi, or where the Jasta process is taking place, that's called Jastam. Similarly here, where this process is taking place of changing to Char is called Chartvam. So whatever it is changing plus Tvam, right, that process. So, means process of changing to Char is called Chartvam. Process of changing to Chutva is called Ashchu, is called Chutvam. Process of changing to Shtu is called Shtutvam. Process of changing to Jash is called Jashtvam. So you can remember like this, Jashtvam. Okay? So here, when we say, said Samhitayam, Marud, so Jastam Puram Karyam Karoti, Marud, and then Agrimam Khar asti chet, Marud Tishtati, then this third changes. If there is Samhita nasti chet, this will remain as Marud. So this is how interpreted. But even if there is no Samhita, we know that we use Marut also. Okay? For that there is a different sutra. So there is another sutra, Karyam Karoti Atra. We will see that in the next class. But So far, let's stick to this framework or idea so far. The Justvam Bhavati, Anantaram, depending on if it is a Padanta, Anantaram Kimapi Nasti Chet, no problem. Justvam Tishtati. Anyatha, Agrima Padam Khar Asti Chet, Paravarna, Padam is Agrima, Varna, Khar Asti Chet, Kharicha Karyam Karoti, Samhitayam, Anyatha, Kharicha Karyam Na Karoti, Jastameva Tishtati. So far, this is a story. This will be useful to understand. Though the Kharicha is coming later, but in many cases this will be useful to understand the other sutras and why we are going in this particular order. So it is easier to understand like this. Okay. धन्यवादः इदानीं विरमामः.
नमस्कारः.
धन्यवादः महोदय.